I guess. So in my previous video, I talked a lot about logging in as a computer science student and dopamine maxing and having a schedule that will boost your productivity in coding and in studying in general. And over this past few weeks after doing that video, I've reflected a lot about what I said there and just life in general, since it's the holiday season and I just moved back home with my parents, so that gives me like some time to think about what I said and how I'm doing in life. And I found that I have very different opinions now when it comes to working and building projects as a computer science major. So the main point is I don't think you should lock in, to be honest. So what's locking in, right? Locking in is where, in my definition, you are trying to rewire your brain into liking something, right? Into liking programming, into liking, I guess that's not the right word. Locking in means more like doing something in hopes that you will get good at whatever you're doing, right? So when you're locking in to study computer science, that means you're trying really hard to get good at data structures and algorithms or like a certain programming language or whatever. And that's a good thing, but I don't think that should be the main driving force behind why you do what you do. What I mean by that is, if you're only doing projects and contributing to open source for the sake of increasing your skills, I guess from these past weeks, I guess that seems kind of meaningless to me, Like, it's great that you're getting good, but what's the point? What's the point of doing something if you're not enjoying it? Like, when I got back home and I started changing my schedule, where I would just, code whenever I feel like, right? Because it's a holiday, who cares? I started to feel like I want to code more than before. Mainly because I'm working on things that I really care about now. So I'm working on the Crafting Interpreters book, and I'm doing my open source contributions, and I'm also working on like a team-ups session manager thing. And it's been great. It's been like, I feel like I'm motivated every single day to just sit down and program without having to force myself into like a strict schedule or anything. Because when you're with your parents, you gotta be flexible around them. And it's been really, really good. And now this might just be because I'm home with my parents and I have less things to worry about. And so the feeling of drastic life improvement comes from that factor. Or it could just be that when you're building with a purpose, everything just seems easier and more joyful to do. And so what I'm saying is, there are certain things where you should lock in, like lead code, for example. If you find lead code fun, then good for you, but I just don't find them fun, unfortunately. But I still have to do it to pass interviews and everything, and so I'm still gonna force myself to do it, and I'm still locking in to do lead code every single day. But after that, I'm just following my passion, following where my interest is going to lead me. Because before, for my projects, I would always pick projects where it would be like super impressive to show off in a portfolio. If you look at my GitHub and projects, they all have like a certain element of research and a certain element of flexing in them. Like my grad engine project, for example, I built the automatic differentiation engine, right? And it's a cool project, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie that there isn't an ulterior motivation for me in doing that project. And that ulterior motivation is to impress a professor at my university into convincing him that I'm qualified for a research position, or like a research assistant or whatever. Yeah, research assistant. And looking back, I guess I learned a lot from that project, but it's also, not meaningful enough for me. Like, yeah, I did that to impress my professor, but is it really my true interest and my true passion? And so when I got back home, I decided to just follow my interest and do whatever I feel like doing. And that has led me down to doing the crafting interpreters book, so building an interpreter from scratch for a custom language, and building a TMUX session manager, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's been I'm having a really good time doing both of them, and I feel like when you're following your interest, you're learning a lot faster, and you're learning more things because you want to explore them as you do the projects. So like when I was doing crafting interpreters, right? I was exploring on the side about grammar rules, regular grammar, irregular grammar, how functional programming languages differ from, object-oriented languages, and composition inheritance and all that sort of thing, where I just let them come to me naturally. Like when I'm reading the book, if I'm interested in something, I would go out and learn more about those things. And that would be, and the difference here is you can do that when you're logging in too, but when you're building for a purpose of showing off, those explorations don't contribute to the end goal of showing off. Like when you're learning about new stuff like that, you can't show them off in your projects. That's just a piece of knowledge that you keep alone. And so if you're logging in and you're trying to show off, going on side quests like that, in my personal experience, is really difficult because you always feel like there is a need to just quit doing what you're doing and get back to building the thing out. But when you're building just for the sake of interest and passion, however, then you can go explore whatever the hell you want. Because what's the harm in doing that, right? What's the harm in learning more? I mean, you're not trying to show off or anything. You're just building because you're curious and you want to build. And so all I want to say is maybe, just maybe, don't lock in. Just follow your passion, and not in like a give up everything and just pursue like a pipe dream, or not in that way, but I guess don't lock in and try and listen to what you're interested in, and just doing that thing for the sake of being interested in that thing and exploring them and enjoying life when you're doing the thing, not dopamine maxing and depraving your brain, and deprive your brain of joy, and like build an addiction to code. I don't think that's necessary when you're interested in what you're doing, because that is a natural guidance to, or motivation to boost you into doing the thing that you love, which in my case is just building interpreters for the moment. That might change in the future, but I don't know. But I'm having a really great time in him. And yeah, I just want to come up here and say that my opinions have changed, and that's it. Yeah. Oh, and about the open source video thing, I was just having so much fun building stuff that I really haven't gotten the time to do the open source video yet, but I will get it done before December. Hopefully before December. Anyways, that's it. Catch you guys later.